Mother Teresa, known as the Saint of the Gutters, is one of the most giving saints that we'll ever come across. From leaving everything to become a nun at age 18, to going to Calcutta to spend her life helping the most poor and destitute. This is the life of Mother Teresa. She was born on August 26, 1910 in Skopje, capital of the Republic of Macedonia. Her parents were devoutly Catholic and they baptized her the very next day as Agnes Goncha Boyhaju. When Agnes was just 8 years old, tragedy struck. Her father fell ill and died, and young Agnes grew very close to her mother. Her mother, Drana, was very compassionate in her nature, and she taught this to her young child. When she would invite the destitute over for a meal, she would explain to her daughter, "My child, never eat a single mouthful unless you are sharing it with others." Agnes learned from her mother when she was young, and she grew to be one of the most generous and compassionate person to ever walk this earth. At the young age of 18, Agnes decided that her life calling was to be a nun, and she left everything, flew to Ireland to pursue this calling with the Sisters of Loreto. At the Sisters, she took on the name Mary Teresa. She was named this after Saint Therese of Lisieux, the little flower of Jesus and patron saint of missionaries, AIDS sufferers, florists, and the sick. After some training in Ireland with the sisters, she got permission to go to India to work as a teacher, teaching geography and history. She was so loving, kind, and compassionate with her students that in 1944 she became the school's principal. But it was in 1946 where Teresa experienced a second calling by God. With this calling, she felt her presence was most needed in helping the poorest of the poor and the sickest of the sick. Mother Teresa believed deeply in showing love through action, not just in words. As she said to herself, "Love cannot remain by itself, it has no meaning. Love has to be put into action, and that action is service." As Jesus said, "Whatever you do to the least of my brethren, you do it to me." In 1948, after getting permission from the sisters, she moved to Calcutta, India, which was rife with sickness and poverty. Here she would spend the rest of her life helping those who needed it most. Out of respect for the traditional Indian dress, she chose to wear a white Indian sari with a blue border, now well recognized as the Sisters of Charity. She got her medical training and she formed a home for the dying destitute, allowing people to now die with dignity. She formed a new congregation called the Missionaries of Charity. Their goal was to help the most unwanted, uncared for, and unloved people in the world. She started this with only a few fellow nuns, most of which were former teachers or pupils of the school where she was a principal at. Whilst taking care of the poor and destitute, they survived on minimal amounts of food and income, often having to beg for funds just to keep going. After a while, the great work that Mother Teresa and the Sisters of Charity were doing, they started to become more well known. Donations came in from India and from around the world, and Mother Teresa could now expand her work. Throughout the 1950s and 60s, she founded a leper colony, an orphanage, a nursing home, a family clinic, and an array of mobile health clinics. These help thousands, if not millions, of the most forgotten and downtrodden of society. But Mother Teresa was not worried about the numbers. She was simply out to leave all of her love that she could on this world. As she said, "It is not how much we do, but how much we love we put into the doing. It is not how much we give, but how much love we put into the giving." Her work earned her the Nobel Peace Prize in 1979 and the Bharat Ratna, the highest honour that the Indian government could bestow upon a citizen. But Mother Teresa was not about the praise of the people. She didn't attend the ceremonial banquet for the Nobel Peace Prize, but asked that the $192,000 fund be given straight to the poor. Also, she was not afraid to express her opinion, even if she got a lot of pushback against it. She spoke out against divorce, contraception, and abortion. She said, I feel the greatest destroyer of peace today is abortion. In 1995, she publicly encouraged a no vote in the Irish referendum to end the country's constitutional ban on divorce and remarriage. Obviously, this was an unpopular opinion, but she always stuck by her values. Although small in stature, she was strong in her character. Mother Teresa's mission was helping the most sick and most ill, the unwanted and the unloved. But she was not to forego her own illnesses and feelings of destituteness in her life. She had a heart attack in 1989 and suffered heart issues the rest of her life. She also experienced a deep period of spiritual darkness that lasted her latter 50 years of her life. As she wrote in a letter to her confidant, "Where is my faith? Even deep down, right in there is nothing but emptiness and darkness. My God, how painful is this unknown pain? I have no faith. I dare not utter the words and thoughts that crowd in my heart and make me suffer untold agony." She came to believe that she was sharing in Christ's passion, especially the moment when Jesus Christ himself cried out, my God, why have you forsaken me?" This has happened to quite a few saints, known as the dark night of a soul. Here, the devil tests one's faith. It doesn't mean you don't have faith, but it's the devil attacking you and Christ allowing it so that it purifies you more. This happened to Teresa, and she became one of the most influential saints in the world. By the time Teresa died, the Sisters of Charity had hundreds of centres with around 4,000 nuns and thousands of lay workers. On September the 25th, 1997, the sad day came when Mother Teresa died from her deteriorating health conditions. I say sad, but we should rarely consider this a happy day because this was the day one of our own went to heaven. Her acts of selfless love, selfless work for the unwanted, sick and uncared for has inspired millions to help those worse off than them. The saints of the gutters, thank you for the example of your life and your love for people and for Jesus. As you said, by blood I am Albanian, by citizenship an Indian. By faith, I am a Catholic nun. As to my calling, I belong to the world. As to my heart, I belong entirely to the heart of Jesus.